All right, welcome to my channel. I am starting what is going to become a very long series of videos over the course of probably a lot of time because it's a very thorough, complex uh, area uh, of work, and there's a lot to it. And I have a high level overview of what I'm going to get into, and I know it's going to take a long time. So I'm just giving that preface to these videos. Linux from scratch. This is just intro video. I won't be including um, my webcam on this one or for a couple of videos until I make sure that my stream setup is okay. I've been having some crashes lately. So what is Linux from scratch? This video series is going to be based on the linuxfromscratch.org website, which originally is a book. Let me zoom in. It's a book, it's a website, it's a entire resource for, well, Linux from Scratch is a project that provides you with step-by-step instructions for building your own custom Linux system entirely from source code. Also known as, or could be referred to as, building your own distro, or building your own custom Linux installation, or even this information applies even if you are starting with a distro and working from there up. So this is the main linuxfromscratch.org website. They talk about Beyond Linux from Scratch, helps you extend your finished LFS installation to a more customized and usable system. There's the Automated Linux from Scratch, provides tools for automating and managing your LFS and BLFS builds. There is a collection of documents for hints for enhancing your LFS system in ways that are not included in those books. The Patches project serves as a central repository for all patches useful to an LFS user. There is a developer's guide for LFS itself. And then they have the museum, it's copies of ancient LFS versions. And so if you go to the, there's a download page where you can download the book. You can clone the book. Let's just start right at the beginning. This is the intro. I'm going to try to keep it short and label each of these videos, intro, video 1, and so forth. And I'm going to keep continuing making these 15 to 20 minutes, well, 15 to 30 minutes, let's say, at a time over probably this entire summer. Right now it's May 2024. So over this entire summer, maybe longer. And this is just one series of content that I'm going to be making. You're going to be on the journey with me. I have not done this before. I barely have dabbled with it. And so we're going to experience and go through this together. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Super interesting to me. I don't have some lofty goal of creating my own distro and putting it out there. There are some things that I would like to do in regards to things like that. Just it's a lot of time and work and dedication. So for me, this is just research and putting out some informational videos for those interested and who want to dive into the world of the Linux kernel and building Linux from scratch. So I'm going to zoom in even more. Probably about right there for this video. And I have a console over here. I'm going to keep it small. I'll just keep it kind of in the background. And then try to make this nice and big for the video. Real quick, my username is Haxer492. I'm Haxer492 on Twitch, Twitter. There's a Discord. There's a TikTok. I've just started to make videos. In the coming weeks and months, I'm going to improve my studio setup more, improve my equipment, stream quality, get a nice camera. I have a lot of experience. I'm a software engineer. I have a lot of experience somewhat with audio. I've never done video editing, content creation, streaming, just starting to get into it, having a lot of fun. But you can find me on those other channels, and they're listed, my profile. And of course, if you like my videos, as it goes, like, subscribe. I could use the support. I'm trying to build an audience and build a community around some of these channels. And I'm going to be doing some projects where hopefully they're collaborative. I want to do some projects where some videos where viewers, I can collaborate with viewers and myself. Especially this is something I'm going to be doing on Twitch. Is we're gonna pick an open source project with open issues that needs help, that needs volunteers, and we're gonna go volunteer, and we're gonna go make meaningful commits to improve their code base and their products, and contribute to the open source community. So if that interests you, follow me as well. Eventually, I'm going to make like a mailing list where you can get notifications. I'll send out just like a weekly, maybe recap, or every couple times a month. Hey, here's what we're doing on the channel type thing. Okay, this is probably an intro enough, but let's just jump into a few pages of this, and then I'll stop it, and then I'll probably make one more today, and then I'm going to move on to other things. And tomorrow, or in the next 2 days this week, I'll be continuing from the Linux from Scratch book. So here we go. What is Linux from Scratch? It's a project that provides you with step-by-step instructions for building your own customized Linux system entirely from source. Why would you want one? So building a Linux system from scratch, you could just download an existing distro. There are several benefits, and there are several benefits. It teaches people how to use a Linux system, how a Linux system works internally, and how to customize it to your tastes and needs. It produces a very compact Linux system. Regular distributions, you often end up installing a lot of programs that you probably never use. They're just sitting there taking up space. It's not hard to get an LFS system installed in under 500 megabytes. Does that still sound like a lot? A few of us have been working on creating an LFS even smaller. Like they've created a system just enough to run, Apache. It's extremely flexible. You have the ability to turn it into whatever type of system you need it to be, customized completely for you. LFS offers you added security. Why is this? You'll compile the entire system from source. This allows you to audit everything if you wish to do so, and apply security patches you want or need to apply. You don't have to wait for someone else to provide a new binary package that hopefully fixes a security hole. It's just after spring. It's May 6, 2024. There's been a lot of Linux security news lately. If it's like 2 years from now and you're seeing this, look back like at some of the recent security breaches and potential breaches. The XZ utility was infiltrated from their code repository, put it that way. Didn't make it to upstream, didn't make it to releases. And it's a miracle it did not. A security researcher just happened to come across, notice something odd. All right, enough of that. What can you do with it? Fairly minimal. It's designed to provide a strong base on which you can add any packages you want. Who's who? Definitely, I'm not going to read all these names. Thank you to all these contributors. If you see here, copyright 1998 to 2024, Gerard Beekmans. Website designed by Jeremy Huntwork and Matthew Burgess. Thank you, gentlemen, for your contribution to the Linux community and the world and technology. So we're going to go to the download link and then read online. And you want to, I go, the stable one. And here is the beginning of the book. Here's the table of contents. We are going to just, well, we're going to go back to the top and we're going to start at the forward. Okay. I feel like I should put on some I'll do this in the next couple videos. I'm going to put on some, not music that'll put you to sleep, but some kind of more upbeat, maybe classical music to go along with it. Maybe some like background chill wave that's copyright free. I think it'd be nice other than just my voice. It adds some momentum to the conversation here. And if you found this video, it's awesome. I hope you're excited as I am. It's probably could be one of the most boring things in the world to some people. I get that. So if this isn't your thing, you found this video, check out my other stuff. I'm going to be doing web development and software engineering videos, live coding, building projects, contributing to open source, trying to build a community and audience around my channel. And again, so welcome. This is Linux from Scratch intro. This is the forward of the book. My journey to learn and better understand Linux began in 1998. I just installed my first Linux distro and quickly become intrigued with the whole concept and philosophy. Now, as I read, I am not going to read every single sentence of this book on these videos. I may paraphrase, I may summarize as I jump through. If this is a project you want to take on yourself, read the book along with me. Study through it on your own as well. So they say, there are always many ways to accomplish a single task. The same can be said about Linux distros. Many have existed over the years. Some still exist, some have morphed. They all do things that suit to their needs of the target audience, which is true. The other day I read there's over 600 active Linux distributions. And I joked about if you installed 2 a day of the 600, you could try out possibly all 600 in a year and have like 60 days left over, give or take. And some of those are going to take you longer, give or take, than 1 or 2 days to, work through and have time to try them out. Fun fact though, over 600 active distros today. I'm going to zoom out just one here. Okay. They wanted to truly make it their own system. They resolved to compile everything from source code instead of pre-compiled binary packages. This perfect Linux system would have the strengths of various systems without their perceived weaknesses. At first, the idea was rather daunting. I remained committed to the idea that such a system could be built. Thank you, sir, for pushing on. After sorting through the issues such as circular dependencies, compile time errors, I finally built a custom-built Linux system. It was fully operational and perfectly usable like any other Linux systems out there at the time. But it was my own creation. Very satisfying to have put together such a system myself. The only thing better would have been to create each piece of software myself. This was the next thing. Quick interlude from myself. This is not from the book. If I build my own custom system, I'm not going to call it a distro. I'm going to build a system of that only has custom packages for audio and media. There is Ubuntu Studio. What I mean is I want a custom system for streaming audio and video. That's more of a server-based instance. Just with only the utilities that I need and maybe some custom software that I write myself for streaming audio and encoding audio and video. So like a streaming distro. Now, I don't want to call it a distro. Maintaining a distro is an immense amount of work and commitment. But I think that's what I'm eventually going to work on is a my own audio and video media server system. Let's call it that. Okay, I'm going to skip. So this book is the central core about that project. It provides the background instructions necessary for you to design and build your own system. It provides a template that will result in a correctly working system, but you're free to alter the instructions to suit yourself, which is in part an important part of this project. And that is, you remain in control. You learn the lower level intricacies to where then you are able to make your own technical decisions, design decisions, and with the knowledge, like with an informed knowledge of why you're doing that and how to do that. So who's the audience? There's many reasons why you'd want to read this book. One of the questions maybe that many people raise is, why go through all the hassle of manually building a Linux system from scratch? You can just download or install an existing one. One reason for this project exists is to help you learn how a Linux system works from the inside out. This is why I am studying this. It's why I'm taking 30 minutes a day to study this, eventually get through it all. It helps demonstrate what makes Linux tick, how things work together, depend on each other. One of the best things this learning experience can provide is the ability to customize a Linux system to suit your own unique needs. Another key benefit is that it gives you control of the system without relying on someone else's Linux implementation. You're in the driver's seat. You dictate every aspect of your system. It allows you to create very compact Linux systems. Those are areas where LFS can be beneficial. So sometimes, however, you're still constrained by the size, if nothing else, bootable CDs, USB sticks, and embedded systems. How cool would it be to take like a little microcontroller and flash your own, Linux kernel on it that has like some utility that you run on top of it? It's just cool. I mean, even if you don't have a commercial application, if you have time, if you're a hobbyist, there's something to be said about that. It's rewarding. Especially if you're a hobbyist, if you have time on your hands, if you're young and you're learning and stuff, you like making cool projects, you might find this stuff exciting. And really interesting if you're, in your career or like in college or, you could point to something like, oh yeah, I built this, as in my free time, things like that. The goal of Linux from scratch is to build a complete usable foundation level system. If you don't wish to do this, you may nevertheless benefit from the information in the book. Fair. There are too many good reasons to build your own LFS system to list them all here. In the end, education is by far the most important reason. That's why I'm here. And that's why I'm making videos about it, so maybe others can share along with me. As you continue your LFS experience, you will discover the power that information and knowledge can bring. Motivational, inspirational. Okay. We're going to talk about target architectures. I'm going to try to make it through the preface. I'm at 18 minutes. Let's go. The primary target architecture of LFS are the AMD and Intel x86, so 32-bit, and then 86, 64, 64-bit CPUs. On the other hand, instructions in the book are also known to work with some modifications for PowerPC and ARM. To build a system that utilizes one of these alternative CPUs, the main prerequisite, in addition to those on the next page, is an existing Linux system, such as an earlier installation, like Ubuntu, Red Hat, Fedora, or other distributions that target that architecture. So they're saying you need a system to be able to compile your own system for these other architectures. You have to be running. I mean, it's obvious. Like, how are you going to build a system without a compiler that compiles for other systems? Eventually, you could use your own system that you built to then compile itself, which is a cool concept. That's a concept in programming language development as well. Once the language can compile itself. As you can see on the same hardware, 64-bit build is only 3% faster and 22% larger than a 32-bit build. If you plan to use it as a LAMP server, that's Linux, Apache, MySQL HP, or a firewall, a 32-bit CPU may be good enough. On the other hand, several packages in the Beyond Linux from scratch now need more than 4 gigs of RAM to be built and or to run. If you plan to use LFS as a desktop, the LFS authors recommend a 64-bit system. If you were coming into this today, unless you have exactly what you want in mind and know that you want to build for 32-bit, just go with 64, especially system, machines today. We are going to skip ahead, and this is the prerequisites, background information. If you're going through this and you're serious about going through this, you come across concepts and terms that you don't know or don't understand, go to Wikipedia real quick. Just do a quick check, and it's like, oh, okay. If you're going to read through it and skip things that you don't know what they are, it's like, man, this is the stuff to dive deep on. Just take it, 30 seconds, and you'll learn this little snippet that will be beneficial. This is a big one. It's not a simple task. It requires a certain level of existing knowledge of system admin, and in order to resolve problems correctly and execute commands listed. At an absolute minimum, you already know how to use the command line. If you don't know what a command line is and you're starting here, start with what is the command line? How does the Linux file system work? What are basic commands of the file system of a command line? Like if you're just getting into software and coding, and you're coming across this, get some basic skills down, and you could still go through this course and you'll learn a lot. But I recommend probably another resource to start off at, like, learn to use your system. Install a Linux distro, play around, learn some commands on the command line, pick out a good text editor you want to use. If you're learning a programming language, start using Linux as your daily driver. Software building, how to. I'm not going to go to it. So before building an ELF system, we urge you to read these articles. So this is about building software, installing generic Unix packages under Linux. It was written some time ago. It still provides good summary of the basic techniques in use. Today you have the Snap and the Flatpak Linux packaging systems and software stores. There's been a lot of changes over the years. Later on in like the BLFS, they continually update this. I'm sure they talk about Snap and Flatpak. And then Beginner's Guide to Installing from Source. I mean, there's probably a ton in here for me to read that I don't know that I would find valuable. I'm going to open this one in a new tab, because installing a lot of Linux utilities and packages sometimes has its own set of troubles and things to diagnose and configure. Sometimes it's smooth, sometimes it's kind of you go down a little bit of a rabbit hole. What is this article? So, Mine of Information, Beginner's Guide to Installing from Source. moi.vonos.net, the Mine of Information. Probably a fascinating website. I'm going to bookmark it. And we're going to go back here to this page. So LFS and standards. We are at 24 minutes. Here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to home. We're going to look through the table of contents, and we're going to pick out something really quick, and then I'm going to end this video and start off on the actual introduction. So the rest of the preface is the rationale for the packages in the book. That means the rationale for the system packages and utilities that they use and include. A lot of them are very like mission critical, kind of for just basic functionality at a lower level in Linux on top of the kernel. And then the typography of the book, how it's laid out, the structure, some security advisories. And we are going to jump into the introduction next. This is a long intro. If you stuck through this, I'm going to try to keep each one of these, let's make a goal 8 to 10 minutes. And even if I have to, a lot of these are in-depth topics. So I'll name videos like, this is intro. Say, I'll number the videos first of all. So there's a sequence, a linear sequence, and each one will say introduction and then dash what the next title is. And there could be like 1, 2, 3, areas from the table of contents in each one. But I'm gonna shoot to make these. So, I think it'd be even better if I say, let's say 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll shoot for less the better. Little snippets, little chunks of information for you to follow along with. And I'm hoping that if I successfully complete this, it's just like a normal thing I can continue to do, that this ends up being like a series of probably what would probably maybe be like hundreds of videos. So keeping them short and sweet, I don't know about sweet. Keeping them concise and informative is the goal. So I'm glad you're here. Check out for the next introduction video. This one's called Intro. I'll call the next one Intro-2. How about that? Intro-2. Again, I'm Haxer492, also on Twitch, at Twitter, TikTok. I'm just starting to stream and make content, so I'll be building out those channels, putting content there. I have a lot of different videos to edit. I'm just learning to edit and produce videos. So in time, hopefully, viewers will see my videos improve and my equipment improve. And I'm hoping, I hope it's, you're seeing this and it's like 2026. And you're like, wow, he started, this 2 years ago and look at all this content. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm a software engineer, never created content before, never streamed before, and decided to just jump in. And there's so many other people doing it. And really for me, I found out how I started using Twitch. I didn't understand Twitch. It's a whole nother culture. And out of nowhere, I was like, this seems like so much fun, right? It does. And it is. It's so much fun. I like talking to people. I like teaching people. I like learning from others. And I was like, this is what I need right now in my career and in my life to bring back, a spark and excitement. This is why I'm, going to jump out of bed every day in the morning now to work and learn and share with others lots of things: software engineering, web development, how-tos, tutorials, collaborate with others, contribute to open source. So I'm excited, and thank you for being here. Check out the next Linux from Scratch video. It'll be Intro-2. All right. I'll see you there.